Hi everybody, thanks for joining. I've been watching cooking videos on YouTube for years and I finally decided, hey, I can do that. And at the same time, I can also answer the number one question in my house every day. Dad, what's for dinner? Okay, so dinner tonight is actually going to be an easy one. I wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video because, truth be told, there isn't really a lot of cooking here unless you're really forcing yourself to do it. But it's an incredibly busy night for us. We've got people going every which way. And the way that we usually solve this is with a simple taco bar. And one of the tools that I use to help out is my three-station crock pot here. We use this quite a bit. It works great for tacos. You can do your meat, your beans, your rice, have all your settings out, and people can just grab and go as they need to. So, um, not a lot of technique going on here or really recipes, but I will make a homemade guacamole. Also, I'll put together a homemade taco seasoning. I already did the rice in the rice cooker. This is a great tool to have. Makes perfect rice every time. And then it's just, kind of browning some ground beef. So I'm going to get the ground beef browned up, and then I'll bring it back so we can make the taco seasoning, get that done, and then we'll move on to the guac. Now, I've got my ground beef uh, all browned up. I didn't figure you guys needed to sit through watching that happen. And now we have to do our homemade taco seasoning. So what I've got here is a tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon and a half of cumin, and then a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, um, an Italian herb, and then like 1 3/4 teaspoons of paprika. And all you got to do is just get that in some kind of container and just mix it all up, and that's going to be our chili seasoning that's going to go on our ground beef. Okay, and like I don't think I'm going to use all of this. I'll probably just kind of feel it out as I go. But there, that's all mixed up and ready to go now. I also like to add a little water in when I'm doing it this way. It just gives a little more time for the spices and everything to mix into the meat, and it gives us a little bit of a sauce as well. So I think that looks pretty good. Come in here with that meat or with that water. Like I said, there's not really a lot of cooking or anything going on in this one. Taco meat's pretty basic, and everything else, right, is just prep. And a lot of the veg that we're going to use to make the guacamole will also go as just the sides for, um, building your taco or nachos or whatever people are going to want to do with it. So, okay, we'll let this get up to heat a little more. I'm just going to try a little bit, see where my seasoning's at. Definitely needs more. That little bit of water we added is starting to boil. We'll start thickening in here pretty quick. See what that got me. Throw that in. I think it needs a little more salt. Perfect. That got it there. I'm going to let this cook down a little more, and then we'll move on to making the guacamole. And that's pretty much going to be it. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I got that meat cleared out of the way. Now we'll move on to our guacamole. The avocados that I was able to get from the store, I couldn't find any that were really soft, so this may be a little rough. But really all we're putting in here is going to be avocado, some onion, diced tomato, little bit of jalapeno. I've got some cloves of garlic and the juice from a lime, and then some salt and pepper. So I always start out with kind of crushing up my guac or crushing up my avocado. And you can definitely have this as hard or soft as you want it. You'll make the consistency that you want. So let me try and mash it with a fork here to begin with. It's just hard. Sometimes these avocados are just hard as a rock. And, being in Michigan, we're not really a avocado capital. It's hard for me around where I'm at to go to the grocery store and find good avocados. Usually have to get them when they're hard, leave them on the windowsill for a couple days. So in this area, you got to plan ahead a little bit if you want to have guacamole. But I think we got these good enough now. I can get a start. This way. And we tend to like a pretty smooth guacamole. And the other thing that makes it a little difficult in this house is we've got some people that like the tomatoes in it. We've got some people that don't. So when I make a batch, I usually do everything except the tomatoes. Then I'll split it in half, put tomatoes in one half, and leave the other like it is. Okay, I think that's in pretty good shape. I'm going to drop in my onion. Just a little bit of jalapeno pepper. Again, some people in the family think that salt is a little bit too spicy some days. So, you got to kind of balance and know what your family wants when you're making dinner. There's one clove of garlic. And I'm going to give it another small one just for good measure. Okay. Pepper. Some salt. And then we'll just go to town with this. Get everything back in the bowl here. We can really get it incorporated. Get back in there. Okay, and now the last thing I'm going to do is add my lime juice. I'm going to have to go on a hunt for my juicer. I don't know where it's at. Let's keep it plenty. Okay, and there it is. That's our guacamole. Like I said, I'm going to kind of take this out of this, divide it, put tomatoes in some, just mix that together, and then we'll be back to close up. Okay, and there you have it. Just like that, it's done. We got our taco meat, we got our beans, rice. Everybody can pick their favorite toppings for their tacos. And, it's just really easy, especially when everybody's busy and people are eating at different times of day. Cook once, leave it out on warm. People can feed themselves, and makes it easy for, not only me, but my family. So, taco bar, that's the answer to, Dad, what's for dinner? Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.